Hello friends, welcome to my channel, and today I am going to explain you a very important element in VDA 6.3, which is P5 for Supplier Management. By end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of the requirements of this element and you will be able to implement the requirements with utmost ease. If you are new to VDA 6.3, then I highly recommend to watch my video on VDA 6.3 Module 1, where I have covered the basics of the subject for your better understanding. The link of the video I have given in the comment section. So let's begin. Okay friends, a quick recap. We know in VDA 6.3 there are 6 elements from P2 to P7, which has total 58 questions, and some of the questions which carry special risk in terms of product and process are classified as important and called as star mark questions. And in P5 we have total 7 questions and 2 are star mark questions. These are the areas on which the 7 questions are based. The areas are: first, supplier evaluation and selection. The second is customer specific requirement compliance in the supply chain. The third is supplier performance targets. The fourth is purchase product and service approval. The fifth is supplier performance monitoring. The sixth is incoming, storage and delivery of the material. And the last is the qualification. You can see how beautifully the requirements have been flown through, linking each and every aspect of supplier management. Right, let's understand about the requirements in detail now. The first question covers the area of, as you know, supplier evaluation and selection. And the standard asks you to check, are the only approved and quality capable suppliers are being used. So when you are evaluating this question, you should check for, are the only approved suppliers being used in serial production? And in cases where the suppliers don't meet the selection criteria, do you have a qualification program for those suppliers? The other thing which you need to check in this element is the evaluation criteria, whether there is a proper evaluation criteria which is being put into use and all the suppliers are evaluated as per that or not. The third thing which you can check is the quality capability of the suppliers is being analyzed or not, whether the performance of the existing suppliers with respect to the quality management system, process audits, supplier rating is being done or not. Another important aspect in this question is the risk analysis. Is the risk analysis done across the supply chain? Whether the proper identification, evaluation and proper reduction of risk is being done or not with the proper action plan, and whether there is a contingency plan for the suppliers or not. So these are the things which you will check while you are evaluating this question on supplier evaluation and selection. The second question covers the area of customer specific requirement compliance across the supply chain. And the standard asks you to check, are the customer requirements taken into account in the supply chain? Customer requirements can come in many forms. It can be standards, drawings, specifications, quality agreements, legal and regulatory requirements, and so on. So you need to check whether proper communication has been done across the supply chain for the CSR, and are the proper agreements in place or not. The communication should be regulated and traceable. Another aspect is change management. You need to see how the change management process is handled during serial production. So these are the things you will check in question 2, CSR compliance in supply chain. The third question covers the area of supplier performance targets. And the standard asks you to check, have the target agreements for supplier performance been agreed upon and implemented? You need to check the targets have been flown through across the supply chain for product and process. The targets can be related to PPM, delivery, reduction in rejection, quality agreements, cost of poor quality, and so on. You need to check that targets have been agreed upon by the suppliers and are being implemented. There should be proper evaluation and monitoring of the output at defined intervals. And in case of deviation, the actions which are being defined should be agreed with customer. And implementation of those actions should happen as per the deadlines. So these are the things you will check in question number 3. The fourth question is a star mark question, and it covers the area of purchase, product and service approval. And the standard asks you to check, are the necessary release available for purchase, product and services? The release can be in the form of PPAP for all new or changed product and process. It can be in the form of IMDS, test reports, qualification reports and so on. The supplier should maintain the proof of capability for all special characteristics. And ultimately, supplier is fully responsible to maintain the quality and approval from the customer. Question number 5 talks about supplier performance monitoring. And this is a very important question, is a star mark question. It is important because here, after defining all the requirements, you are actually checking the performance of the supplier and having a real-time communication with the supplier based on his performance. And the standard asks you to check, is the agreed upon quality of the purchased product and services ensured? In monitoring of product and services, you need to see whether the quality inspection is being properly done or not, whether the sampling size is correct or not, whether you have the inspection procedures which has clearly defined frequencies and the method of inspection defined clearly or not, whether the inspection is regularly done, whether the results are documented and properly evaluated. While evaluating this question, you should also check their layout inspection reports, the functional testing is happening as per customer specific requirement or not, whether the supplier has reference parts or not, whether the latest drawings are available with supplier or not, whether the test certificates are there, packaging specification is with supplier or not, the external test labs which the supplier is using is as per the customer specific requirement or not. So these all are the things which you will check on the monitoring perspective. In case of deviation, you should check whether there is a standard complaint handling process or not. There should be agreement and tracking of improvement programs and whether it is happening as per deadline or not. Equipment is also a very important aspect which you need to check. Equipment, I mean the testing and measuring equipments over here. You should see whether the testing and measuring equipments are in sufficient quantity or not. Means the number of equipments which are required to cover all the testing, whether it is sufficient or not. How is the storage of the equipments, whether they are stored in an orderly manner, whether they have a proper climate control or not. At the workstation, you can check whether the lighting conditions and the cleanliness of the workstation is as per standard or not. You should see the equipments are being protected against damage and against contamination. So all these things has to be verified in this question. The sixth question is related to incoming storage and delivery. And the standard asks you to check, are incoming goods delivered and stored appropriately? Here the scope for you will be the incoming material and the loading equipment as well. So you need to see how is the storage condition of the incoming material, whether it is stored as per the release status, means after inspection by incoming quality, so that it cannot be damaged or mixed later on. The storage condition of the material should conform to the product requirement. For example, materials that are sensitive to temperature, humidity, vibration, because it affects the quality of the final product. So their transport and storage condition should be defined and evidence to be maintained for those. For quarantine material, you should have a quarantine area which has a proper lock and key arrangement to avoid any unauthorized access. The FIFO and batch traceability is also something which needs to be focused on while evaluating this question. There should be proper FIFO and stock status to be maintained in the stores properly for inventory control. Here you can verify the stocks which are mentioned in the board versus actual physical quantity available. How is the shelf life monitoring is done? Shelf life for chemicals, adhesives, or any other material which is having a shelf life. So you need to check how the method is or how is the process is to monitor the shelf life of the material. There should be proper order and cleanliness in the stores, and handling of residual material. Residual material means the material which is half consumed in the production. So how is the handling of the residual material is being done? How is the traceability of the residual material is done? Next time when another run is being done, how the material is issued? First, how is the residual material being issued to the production? So these are all the things which you will check while evaluating the question of incoming storage and delivery. The seventh question covers the qualification aspect, and the standard asks you to check, are personnel qualified for their respective task and are responsibilities defined? You need to check, are the description of what responsibility, authority and task is being defined for the people in their work area or not. Other thing which you will check is the qualification requirement of the employees with respect to the task what they do is being properly defined or not. For example, people who are doing internal audits or the supplier audits, whether the qualification requirement for these people have been defined, like they should be VDA certified auditor or not. Like this, you should have a qualification requirement defined for all the employees. Another aspect what you need to check in this question is the knowledge. The knowledge of previous complaints, whether the people are having that awareness or not. They should have the knowledge about the product features or the production process. So these are all the things which you will check while evaluating this question. So this is how the requirements for the supplier management are covered in this element in totality. So friends, with this I have come to the end of this knowledge sharing session. I really hope that you find it to be meaningful. Do support me by subscribing and liking this video so I create more videos for you. See you next time with a new topic. Till then, keep learning, keep sharing. See ya.